Hey trackers, doing some more spring bear trailing here, and I thought I'd show you something kind of cool right here. There is a bear trail coming out of the woods here into this grassy field, and what's interesting here is that the bear has been knocking over these shrubs on his way out, and you can see that this one is knocked completely down. That one is also leaning over towards me, and so is this one. These are Scotch broom, and you can tell it's Scotch broom because it has a 5-parted stem, so you can identify it Scotch broom versus French broom. But notice the bear tracks here and how the bear has been coming out of the woods, and you can see the trail, you can see his tracks in here. You can see all these really well stomped in spots here where bear tracks have been, and this one particularly right here, you can see how the small Scotch broom has been knocked over. Look at all the dirt on top of those leaves right there, which was carried forward on the bear's foot. And this disturbed moss right here that's been knocked out, and the grass is laid forward in the direction of travel. So this shrub shows that the bear has been straddling it, and as they do that, they drag their stomach on it, and it breaks some of the branches. Some of these are broken and loose at the base. They're interlaced, and this one's broken off. So this has been straddled by the bear. So the trail, I'm going to go around the other way. You can see here where after the bear is done there, he comes out into the field to feed, but that's just an open grassy field, not quite as exciting as this sign. So the base is loose of this shrub because it's been knocked forward, and that's causing it to becoming loose at the ground level there. So here you have another one that's been straddled by the bear and knocked down. You can see the well-worn footsteps, particularly right here. There's a lot of overgrowth right here, but there's steps in here, steps there, as he goes around and knocks all these over. So this is a deliberate marking behavior on the part of the bear. So here you can see the well-worn footstep right there, and this shrub is one that's getting knocked over. Very well-worn area right here where there are steps from the bear, and if you move that aside, another one here, and right here at the base, and going back into the forest. So the bear is coming out of the forest, and as it exits the forest, it's straddling these shrubs. Normally they stand upright. Look how loose the base is right there. And this has been knocked over. Because of the tracks on both sides of it, you can tell that the bear has been straddling this shrub. If this had any thorns on it, there may be some bear hair snagged on it. The thing with this plant is it's very smooth, and so there are very little protrusions on this to catch any bear fur. But you can tell that these have been repeatedly knocked over, straddled by the bear. He just comes along, goes straddle, 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 feet on both sides, and then finishes with that one, comes over here, straddles this one, and then comes out to the grassy field to feed. It's a deliberate scent marking behavior, and so the bear is trying to let other bears know that it's around, and this is its trail, and it's also a behavior that will increase as we get more into summer and the bear's mating season. So these are straddle marked bushes, and this is a black bear behavior. I thought you'd like to see some of the behavior you can find when you track black bears. There's another little straddle marked tree on a bear trail. This one's been kind of mangled, and bears sometimes will actually just lay on these things and break them, but notice all the broken branches, the knocked off bark here and here. So this could either be getting stepped on, which I suspect because there's a big footprint there, and then there's this, where there should be another footprint. So I think the bear is deliberately stepping on that. This trail goes here, and it's a pretty good trail. Another one of those well-worn ones where you can just see the worn circles in the ground where the bear has been repeatedly stepping as it goes through here. So I think what happens is he's coming through here and facing this direction. Notice how the right foot would go here and the left foot would go right on top of that and squish it down into the ground, and that's why that is broken like that. The branches are broken and the bark has been scraped off. So yet another bear sign on a well-used bear trail. So a bear has been working on this evergreen huckleberry shrub right here. Looks like not only has he been straddling it, but he's been kind of slapping at it too, because a lot of branches have been knocked off of it. You can see the well-worn path. This is a very old and well-worn bear trail right here, going up this slope. Been here for years. And they come through here regularly. And it looks like the bear has been not only straddling this, but also probably clawing and biting at it, because there's some broken off branches at the base. You can see how they've been trampled into the ground. And there's some claw marks right here on this. And some of those branches were broken off and moved all the way over here. This is from this evergreen huckleberry shrub. And the bear then goes along and straddle marks on those. But this right here is next to an older Douglas fir sapling, and that I showed in previous videos where the bears were actually pulling this down, rubbing their backs on it, clawing it, biting it, etc. So this might be a good one to set up a trail camera on and see what happens over the course of the summer if the bears continue to mark on this particular shrub. So underneath a Douglas fir sapling, the bear has again ripped off some branches, and this sapling was one that they started to use last year. And you can see these knocked off branches. There's a larger one right here that looks like a trampled sapling, and they've really been having fun in here. Probably one of the larger male bears, because there's a big scat next to this. But you can see claw marks and bite marks on this. This one is down on the ground. This is just a branch that came off of there. But the tree above me is their focus. I'll pull it down and show you. So this is under tension. I'm having to hold it down as I'm filming. This is one that they used last summer and did a lot of marking on. You can see how they pull it down with their claws and just rip claw marks into it. And this is above my head when it's, when I let it go, it goes way up above my head. But this is what they do. They come along, they grab it and claw at it, maybe bite at it, knock off some branches like right there. They could bite them off. And this is all a part of their marking rituals that they do. And they'll do this most of the summer, most of the early summer anyway. They'll be marking on trees like this. So this particular bear path has been used for years and years. It's on an old abandoned road, dirt road, and they've used it for so many years, and multiple bears have used this, and it's just becoming well worn into the landscape. It's just like a little highway. So remember how I said that animals will repeatedly use the same trails too? That's because they're not interested in just crashing through the brush and making a lot of noise. They want to be quiet, and they want to use easy paths. So our old abandoned dirt roads are great for the wildlife, and bears use these a lot. Just develop extremely well-used pathways through here. You can see how the bears have been going through the branches of this old fallen tree. And obviously they don't crack every branch like I do, but they do sometimes. But it looks like also they're trying to avoid the branches by stepping between them and, just flattening some of this stuff. So they're trying to be quiet, but sometimes you just can't avoid stepping on the branches unless you're longer than a human like a bear is. So they try to go through here as quietly as they can. And, if you're an animal that is out here and you hope to hunt something, which bears occasionally do, they're mostly vegetarian, but they will hunt. They want to be quiet and not alert all the prey animals to their presence. So stepping in between the branches is a way to do that, and to keep their footsteps quiet so they don't just go around breaking things like that, like I just did. Here's a new developing bear trail coming through here, and what you're seeing is just a disturbance of the duff layer, showing where the bear has been coming through. And then when you get over here, there's a lot more disturbance at the base of this particular tree. This is a tan oak tree, and the bear has been standing here with his back to the tree and rubbing his fur on the tree and also biting and clawing the tree up here. So this is all new this year. Brand new trail, brand new damage. So you can see the parallel marks here from scratching the tree with the claws, and broken branch here. I guess the camera's not focusing. Come on, camera. There we go. So I'll go around behind the tree and try to make the camera focus, and you can see those claw marks right here. The claw marks are usually perpendicular to the ground surface, and then down here you can see where the bear stands with his feet and rubs his back on the tree. Here's a bear hair, and I need to go to macro mode to show. You can see the hair much better when I put a light colored background against it. Kind of hard to see otherwise, but it's there moving in the wind, and it's stuck on the tree because the bear rubbed his fur on this tree. And there may be others, but what's kind of cool up here is the marks that the bear has made. Now, when they stand with their back to the tree, sometimes they reach over their shoulder, turn their head over their shoulder, and bite the tree. And you'll get some marks that look kind of like this. I think this one might be a bite mark. And this one might be a bite mark also, but these are claws right here. Claw marks are a little cleaner looking. And I might put a camera on this one just to see if I can catch the bear doing this. Might be kind of an interesting placement. So there's the little tan oak tree that the bear's been biting and clawing. Trail comes through here, through their duff layer of the forest, and then it gets kind of easier to see right in here for some reason. So it may be that he's doing a little bit more stomping in here, as bears will do. And this area, there is no tree above it except for this fallen tree that I'm next to, so I'm not sure what's going on there unless the bear is turning around and going back over his trail. And then it heads this way and goes on around the corner. Here's another shrub that's been bent over and broken off by a bear. And here is where it got slapped. And you can see the bark was ripped off. Just took a little slap at it, breaking it off right here. It's a fresh break. Hasn't turned brown and dried out yet, although the bark is curling a little bit, so it wasn't absolutely fresh. It's a few days old at least. But this is a ceanothus shrub, and it's in the bear's path. And so the bear decided to do something about that and just gave it a whack. So this is one tracker. Paul Resendez calls these whammy trees, because the bear just reaches up and just randomly gives it a whammy. He hits it. And here's some fur caught in it. I'll change the camera lens to macro to show you that. So here you can see the black bear fur that is snagged on a little tiny branch of this ceanothus plant, aka blue blossom. And this is the proof that it was the bear that did this, as well as your claw marks, the height from the ground, which is higher than a deer would normally do, and bear behavior, and the fact that it's on a bear trail. So that ceanothus shrub is located right next to an old Douglas fir sapling that a bear did the same thing to. Broke it in half, destroyed the trunk, probably 3 years ago now, maybe 4. And this is the new one right here. So this is the regularly used path for the bears. They also tend to go out here in the field, but this was one of the other trees that got marked by a bear a couple years ago. And then you continue on this trail, and you can see that this is just another very well used route that they're going over and over. And there's even some scat right there. So a lot of bear activity right now. Bear trails in pine needles look slightly different because the pine needles are moved, usually in the direction of travel. And sometimes you'll find broken branches in there. But again, as a bear uses a trail over and over, you're going to find that appearance of the scooped out thing starts to show up even in pine needles. Right up here is a big one, but Camera needs a minute to focus. So, we're right next to a tree here, but I don't see a lot of indication that the bear is rubbing its fur on the tree. It is going past it, and there's a big, ginormous divot right there. And then here, here, and then we're going to get into darkness and the shade. But again, the development of the trail is still visible here, where you can see the right, left sort of nature of this path that the bears have been repeatedly using. I know there's a bunch of poison oak up here, so I might limit how far I'm going. I don't want to get into the poison oak, but whoops. So it goes here, and you can still see there are divots in here. That's poison oak, and it's just going to get more dense up here. So bears are going right through here. See the divots going through here? And look at the trampled vegetation right there. See, this is a bear path through here. Right through the poison oak. Yeah. I know, they just love going through poison oak. Because they know I won't follow them through the thick stuff. Okay, well, let's see if I can avoid the poison oak and go through here anyway. All over here. It's mixed in over here with a plant called hedge nettle. And this is poison oak going up the tree. Anyway, the bear path goes straight through here. Through the berries. And then right through the poison oak. This is always fun. So here you can see some vegetation that shows signs of trampling. So it's already, the moisture has already kind of come to the surface where it was bruised, but it's also aging. So it's turning a lighter color. Initially those bruises are fairly dark, and then they change to a lighter color as they age. But that's some vegetation sign that indicates trampling by a black bear. Whoops, my foot's standing on poison oak right there. Bunch of poison oak right here. So right here, it's pretty obvious where the trail goes. Right through these old logs. See right here. And then here's some interesting vegetation sign too. This kind of dragged forward plant. That's a plant called cleavers or bedstraw. And it got that name because I guess early pioneers used to use it as sort of a mattress stuffing. And it sticks to you. It's kind of clingy. It's got clingy hairs on it. So it looks like it's stuck to the bear too. But there is vegetation sign in here indicating trampling by bears. There's a knocked over leaf with some dirt on it. Not too bad with the poison oak now. But I'm being very careful. Because I definitely don't want to itch for 2 weeks. Ooh, that's poison oak right there. And here, nice vegetation sign. You can see the bruising on the plants and how they've been knocked over. And look at the dirt clinging to the top of it. That wouldn't be there unless the bear stepped on it. Goes right through here. Ooh. Okay, and right here, these tall plants are all poison oak. So, the bear went directly through. I'm going to go around, but that's where he's headed. Anyway, that was just a short section of bear trail. And there's too much poison oak for me to go through here because I'm wearing shorts. I went around it. That is all poison oak right there. So, bears are not affected by it like I am. Anyway, that's just some fun spring bear trailing. And a whole lot of track and sign that you can see if you follow these bears around.